a potentially terrific flyweight world championship bout between Danny Romero of Albuquerque, New Mexico, Francisco Tejedor of Colombia, working with us again, subbing for George Foreman as he does so ably and so often now. Gil Clancy. Gil, what about this battle between Tejedor and Romero?
This fight is a matchmaker's dream. Tejedor is a good boxer, good lateral movement, some power, and an educated left hand. He's going to be in with a pressure fighter that can knock you out with either hand at any time. Should be a great fight.
All right, both fighters are already in the ring, so we take a look at Danny Romero, who scored a spectacular first-round knockout when last we saw him on the undercard of Tony Jones in this arena November 18. You see the record, 23 wins, 21 of them by knockout. It's his first title fight. Danny Romero is only 20 years old. A vast experience difference between Romero, who's the challenger tonight, and the man who holds the championship in this fight, Francisco Tejedor. Tejedor, out of Colombia, has fought 44 fights in his professional career. Maybe it's more than just coincidence that of the 42 fights he fought in his native country of Colombia, he won them all. The 2 times he ventured outside Colombia, once to Korea and once to Mexico, he lost both of those bouts. You can see that he is a boxer puncher, 30 KOs on his dossier. So Francisco Tejedor makes his first trip to the United States to fight here in Las Vegas. And we take a look now at the tail of the tape for this fight at the 112-pound weight limit. 26 hours ago, Tejedor weighed in at 111 pounds, Danny Romero at 112. But that, I emphasize, Larry Merchant, was 26 hours ago.
They were weighed in the last hour. Tejedor was 116. A normal rise in weight from taking water. Romero weighed 125 pounds, an addition of 12% on his body weight. So what that means basically is we have a featherweight fighting a bantamweight for the flyweight championship of the world.
Punch stat numbers, Larry.
Here you get an example of how busy these fighters are. Tejedor is a busy boxer. Romero is much the more accurate and harder puncher. But Romero is a boxer as well. He doesn't throw as many jabs as Tejedor, but he can fight. He's not just a slugger.
And rules of the bout with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
The Francisco Tejedor Danny Romero fight will be 12 rounds. There is no standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. Only the referee can stop the fight, and you cannot be saved by the bell in any round, including the last round. Jim.
All right, Harold, now let's go up to ring announcer Michael Buffer for the pre-fight introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the world's largest hotel, casino, and theme park, the MGM Grand of Las Vegas, Nevada, where tonight, Top Rank Incorporated, along with your undisputed, undefeated king of beers, Budweiser, this Bud's for you, present an evening of World Championship Boxing, sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission and the International Boxing Federation. For this first bout, the IBF supervisor ringside is Francisco Fernandez. The 3 judges assigned, scoring the bout on a 10-point must system, will be Dalby Shirley, Hector Hernandez Vilchis, and Stuart Winston. And when the bell rings, the man in charge of the action, referee Richard Steele. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 12 rounds of boxing for the IBF Flyweight Championship of the World. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing gold, trimmed in red, and weighing in at 112 pounds. His professional record, 23-0, 21 KOs. Ladies and gentlemen, from Albuquerque, New Mexico, introducing the undefeated challenger, Danny Kid Dinamita Romero. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing silver trimmed with red and yellow, weighing in at 111 pounds, from Barranquilla, Colombia, presenting the flyweight champion of the world, Francisco Tejedor.
Vamos, vamos, fuerte ese aplauso, carajo. Huepa, huepa.
spoke to both fighters in the dressing room. I'm cautioning everyone to obey my commands at all times. Shake hands and good luck.
Romero has a chance to be the most exciting fighter in boxing south of Oscar de la Hoya at this moment. But I find myself wondering, Gil, whether this tremendous fluctuation in weight can slow him down somehow.
Well, it certainly has to slow him down, Larry. I mean, putting on all that weight within 24 hours or whatever is certainly going to change it. But again, what he's trying to do is take advantage of his strength. He's going to try to outstrength Tejedor for the entire fight.
Well, we saw how sluggish James Toney was last November 18 after a similar short-term weight gain going into his battle with Roy Jones. He wasn't the same fighter that he might have expected to be. Round one begins. Tejedor working behind the jab. Danny Romero lands a looping overhand right.
And you're going to see that educated left hand of Tejedor's every chance he gets. He's tough to outpoint in a round because he's busy and he keeps snapping that left hand out.
Danny Romero insisted to us yesterday that he's taller than Tejedor. Tail of the tape said otherwise, giving a 1-inch height advantage to Tejedor. As they stand facing each other in the ring, it does appear that the Colombian presents the taller picture. Romero with another rainmaker over the top of the right hand. That one didn't land. Tejedor with a straight right hand that lands for him.
Tejedor is a very, very clever boxer. Got very good lateral movement. He can go side to side, especially to his right when he wants to get out of the way of Danny Romero's power. And you can see that's a good snapping jab that Tejedor has.
Left hook by Tejedor that time. Romero tries a left hook of his own, glancing blow. First round, a pretty good start in the boxing match for Francisco Tejedor.
He's scoring with that left hand. I mean, Romero is not going to be able to take those punches for 12 rounds. He's going to have to swell up and bust up if the fight goes any distance.
Romero trying to get inside to throw to Tejedor's body. Tejedor moves away. Romero now landing a left and just misses the right hand behind it. They all look so quick in these weight classes, Gil, that it's hard to tell just how much sluggishness might have crept into Romero as a result of all that weight gain.
Well, the thing is that Tejedor is so quick and so fast that he can make Romero look a little slow. Very, very clever fighter, very quick fighter.
Right hand lands for Danny Romero, and he goes to the body with the left hand.
But then you saw Tejedor quickly move out to his right so that Romero could not set himself for those combinations, those powerful combinations that he can throw. There's that side-to-side movement.
And Tejedor is showing an ability to go to both sides, sometimes to the left, sometimes to the right. It's going to try to make it difficult for Danny Romero to find him. Good hard left hand by Romero. Romero beginning to land to the body, and with that, Tejedor beginning to back up just a little bit, Gil.
But again, Tejedor just came back with a good combination.
Danny Romero Sr. tending to Danny Romero Jr.
You gotta throw your, you gotta step to your right, Danny. You just get down in the head, okay? Danny, I'll get it. Step to your right, porque no te va a agarrar con la, aquí ya te está agarrando con la jab, huh? Okay. No hagas mistakes, man. No hagas mistakes. You're throwing it, the overhand by itself. You gotta step in with it, okay? Okay. Okay.
Our Spanish interpreter for both corners in this fight, Hector Garcia.
Then step over to your right and then throw it for the right hand. Okay, get your hand.
And in Tejedor's corner, we have Amilcar Bruiser, the former trainer of the great Carlos Monzon.
We know that father-son relationships in boxing often don't work, but the Romeros seem to have unusual rapport. Senior has been training Junior since he was 5 years old.
Tejedor threw 76 jabs by punch stat count in round number 1. Romero threw 33 jabs. Tejedor landed at a slightly lower percentage clip.
And Tejedor is making Danny Romero respect him, trying to take him off that freight train coming right at him. And that's what he had to do in that first round. That's what he did.
Romero's last 3 fights totaled 5 rounds. So if Tejedor can stretch this out a bit, he'll be putting Romero into what is, for the moment, unfamiliar territory. Danny flirting with a low blow there as he took into the body.
Punches up, okay?
Richard Steele warning Romero to keep him up. Romero getting just a little bit closer in this round, but the right hand missed there.
And Danny is starting to swell already under his right eye.
Hard right hand, snapped Tejedor's head back. Francisco able to move away and move laterally to the right. Uppercut missed by Romero. Hard right hand in the middle of the ring by Tejedor. Romero jabbing to the body, and Tejedor once again ducking away to the side. Maybe not quite as fluid, though, as he was in round 1, Gil.
No, but I saw Romero hit him right on the chin, and instead of it affecting Romero, Tejedor punched right back, which means apparently he takes a good punch. Seems that way to me.
In his 2 trips outside Colombia, he was knocked out by Humberto Chiquita Gonzalez in Mexico City. No shame there. Gonzalez has knocked out a lot of good fighters. And Tejedor lost a controversial decision in Seoul, South Korea to a Korean fighter. First time ever in the USA. Romero running out of gas just a little bit in the last minute of this round, and that gives Tejedor a chance to reestablish the jab and his boxing rhythm. And as we go to Tejedor's corner, our interpreter there is Hector Garcia.
Está marcadito, ¿eh?
Oh, he's so marked. You're really hitting him. Listen to me. What you're doing, it's okay, but you have to keep throwing those punches. This nothing. That's nothing. Are you listening to me? Step back and throw that right hand with power.
Respirando duro. Abra la boca.
Romero did land one good punch here, but Tejedor took it very well. The job of the brawler slugger in the early rounds of a fight is to slow down the faster boxer. That's why he's been going primarily to the body, even though he's been winging a lot of low blows. He must slow down the boxer so that he can catch him later in the fight.
Well, Larry, with that extra weight that Danny Romero has put on later in the fight, he may not have too much left himself.
Round 3 of the schedule, 12. So far, the fight has played more into the hands of the skillful boxer Francisco Tejedor. Now Danny Romero with a wide winging left hook. And there's a hard left hand. Tejedor tends to get in more trouble when Danny's able to pull him into the ropes.
Come up.
Romero taking a little bit of a chance there. If Tejedor had been able to clock him with a right hand, he might have gotten a knockdown out of it.
But again, there aren't too many fighters that can move side to side the way Tejedor can move. You can just see that movement over to the right takes a lot of Danny Romero's power away from him.
Romero's going to have to be judicious with the use of his power punches to avoid punching himself out as he tries to find opportunities against the slick Tejedor.
No, all in. Punching it out. Breaks the middle.
That is an educated left hand that Tejedor has. He really knows how to use that left hand. Doubles it up.
There he scored with a right hand lead, and a frustrated Danny Romero wings wildly with the left as he tries to come back in.
There's that side-to-side movement that really is discombobulating Danny Romero up to this point.
Another right hand lead by Tejedor. This time Romero counters with the right hand and lands flush twice. Romero missing over the top with the right. Tejedor gets in a good shot before Richard Steele pulls him apart.
Looked like a good shot south of the border to me, Jim. But Romero was really trying too hard with those big punches.
I think he's being frustrated by Tejedor's effective jab and side-to-side boxing movement. Still to come tonight, heavyweight championship bout between George Foreman and virtually unknown German challenger Axel Schultz. Only the third man from Germany ever to challenge for the heavyweight championship of the world.
Estás aflojando. Ya no estás aflojando, Danny. Yeah, just keep working him, huh? Just keep working him. And keep pumping that jab at him. He's ducking that right hand, so you got to keep it here and hard. Okay? Don't pick that elbow up. Okay? So I don't fly, so I don't go so far away, okay? I said jab. Don't look like that jab, huh?
Sorry,
Sneak right hand got in.
Yeah, Tejedor has found something good with this right hand lead. There's a hard right hand by Romero in return.
But again, Tejedor was moving with the punch. Took a lot of the power out of the punch.
Left hand sneaked in by Tejedor.
Young fighters, Gil, it seems to me, are more concerned about what they can do than what their opponent can do. They reach maturity when they start to measure what the opponent can do as well.
Well, that's the purpose of a corner man, is to, when the guy's off track the way Danny had been for the first couple of rounds, is to get him back on track. And
there's a hard right hand by Tejedor in the center of the ring, and again.
With a slick guy like Tejedor, I would tell my fighter, forget about his head altogether, because the body doesn't move. Once you start feeling it to the body, you're going to be able to hit him on the chin.
Coming in, you would definitely have given the punching power edge to Romero. But here in round 4, it's Tejedor who has landed the hard punches, and Romero has lost a little bit of steam. Richard Steele's going to call it a slip.
Correctly, I think.
But Romero's still wobbly, and that right hand lead lands again for Tejedor.
And two good body punches by Tejedor. Seems to me, Jim, we're repeating Tejedor quite a bit.
Oh, I think he's dominating the fight at this point, Gil. And Danny Romero, perhaps too anxious to land that left hand, is giving him a lot of opportunities for the right hand lead.
And it isn't that Danny is missing by an inch, he's missing by a foot with these big punches. Again, that movement to the right just took all of the power away from Danny Romero. Again, same thing.
And And Romero starting to load up with the right hand, perhaps a sign of frustration. There he does land a left, but Tejedor again moves away and clocks him with a right hand lead.
Jim, now it's getting to be that Romero is going to have to slow Tejedor up. Tejedor, if he can go 12 rounds at this pace, Danny's in a lot of trouble.
Right now, he looks like about the best champion to come out of Colombia since you had one, Gil.
Oh, I had a great one, Rodrigo Valdez. He was a great fighter.
Round 4, a boxing lesson given by Francisco Tejedor to Danny Romero. And in the dressing room, Larry Merchant, George Foreman taping his own hands.
Yeah, and he won't let anybody else do it, and everybody gives him a lot of distance. He's one of the few fighters, maybe the only big-time fighter I've ever seen who does this before a major fight.
And I went in to watch him tape his hands when he was going to fight my guy, Jerry Cooney. When he finished the job, I said, there's no way Cooney can lose. It doesn't even look like he can make a fist. I mean, he's not a great hand rapper, but it works for George.
I think it's part of it is, of course, a kind of ritual to get him into the fight. Harold Letterman, after 4 rounds, how do you score this flyweight fight?
I know I got it a lot closer than you. I got it 2-2, 38-38. I got it right now even. I gave rounds 2 and 3 to Danny Romero because I thought he got inside and cracked him with a couple of good right hands. And I like the power puncher. But certainly in rounds 1 and 4, without any question, Tejedor outboxed him beautifully. And right now, Tejedor's boxing very nicely.
I have it 3-1.
And Gil?
And I haven't given Danny a round as yet.
You've given all 4 rounds to Francisco Tejedor. So?
Yes. Third round was very close, but I thought the Tejedor came on at the very end of the round and stole the round.
Opinions varying along an even scale there among the 3 guys who scored the fight for us. Tejedor in the silver trunks against Danny Romero of Albuquerque, New Mexico, fighting in the same weight class in which his hometown of Albuquerque has already produced another terrific fighter named Johnny Tapia.
Great, step back.
Now, Jim, I don't know what it is about the flyweight division, but the United States can never seem to develop a good flyweight champion.
In fact, Tejedor told us when we interviewed him yesterday that he regards Romero as an American fighter and that South Americans and Latinos in general dominate these small divisions, and he expects to himself.
Tejedor's cornermen telling him between rounds, Danny Romero is starting to slow down. Let's hit him in the kidneys a few times and he'll slow down even more. Excuse me, failed translation on my part. They actually said hit him in the liver, not kidneys. Hit him in the liver some more and he'll wear down.
Well, Romero must think his liver is up around his cheekbone, because that's where he's going.
Solid punches by both fighters.
Good right hand inside by Romero, but he was taking body shots from Tejedor. Hard left hand and a right hand by Tejedor.
Now he's giving him a lesson on the inside, Gil, which is surprising.
No, it wasn't surprising to me, Larry. He's got a very good uppercut with either hands on it. He can fight on the inside, and he's using that left hook to the body very, very well. There it is again to the side.
They trade punches in the center of the ring, and Tejedor is out throwing Danny Romero 3 punches to 1. Now Danny tries to come back, but Tejedor landing the harder shots. Remember that Danny Romero is an unbeaten fighter. 23 professional fights, never lost. Snapped the head back there, did Tejedor. And now a hard shot from Romero. And it's becoming a little bit of a slugfest, which probably isn't good for Tejedor.
Well, you wouldn't think it was good for Tejedor, but if you watch the exchanges, it certainly was good for Tejedor.
It wasn't doing Romero any good for sure.
Don't put. Danny, we have a little too much accidents, okay? You gotta watch yourself.
Get there, get there. Mira, adentro. Adentro no le estás pegando con la derecha abajo. You gotta hit him in those ribs, Danny.
Okay.
You're loading up too much.
Okay.
You're not firing right away.
Okay.
Okay?
Easy. What round is it? 6.
Huh?
Come on. Okay.
Here you're watching a real professional fighter work on the inside, work to the body, 3 shots to the body, backs Romero off at a distance, and throws a 1-2. Beautiful work.
Again, Larry, you hit the nail right on the head. A real solid professional fighter. Looks like he can do it all. I don't think he's the greatest puncher in the world, but technically, he's a very, very good fighter.
Francisco Tejedor fought in the 1984 Olympics in Los Angeles as a 17-year-old.
That's the second time he's walked out into the middle of the ring and clocked Romero with a looping right hand, showing the inexperience of Romero.
And also letting Romero know that he's in there and he's not going to walk right through him.
Tejedor's corner instructing him, keep going to the liver and come back with the right hand. It's been working well so far.
And Larry, I don't think that putting on that extra weight for Danny Romero did him a bit of good.
Well, I think first we have to recognize that he fought his last 2 fights at 118, 119. Now he comes down to fight for the title to 112. I am not sure of the wisdom of a young fighter coming down in weight.
Well, I never really like to make my fighters make an artificial weight. I didn't think it was good for them at all. But one of Romero's best right hands just then right on the chin, and absolutely nothing happened.
By punch stat numbers, Tejedor outlanded Romero more than 2 shots to 1 in the 5th round. 6th round has also seen Tejedor as the more accurate puncher. Hard right and a left by Romero. Tejedor seemingly unmoved by that.
And you know, Jim, when I had Rodrigo Valdez, I got down to Colombia to train him, and all they didn't have a ring. They had a 12-foot square of cement. So you had to learn to move your body and move to get out of the way. And I can see that Tejedor does that very, very well.
Danny starting to catch him a little bit, though, here in round 6. This has been a slightly better round for Romero than the 2 that preceded it. Romero going back to the jab a little bit instead of just winging shots as he had through much of the fight.
That's what he should have been doing from the first round. He went right out as if he was going to knock Tejedor right out, and found out that he just couldn't do it. He couldn't find him. Now he's trying to set things up with a jab.
Now the knockout seems like an increasingly remote prospect, and he's in all likelihood behind or no better than even on points. Hard right hand by Romero.
But Jim, if you notice the way Tejedor is reacting when he gets hit, it doesn't seem to phase him one bit. Doesn't take him out of his game plan at all. Haven't seen any wobble in his legs. He counters back.
All this makes you what weight really means. I mean, it's a 125-pound guy. He's outweighed by 9 pounds, Tejedor. He's getting hit some flush shots by a good puncher. There's another one. And here he is.
You know, Larry, I've been against...
That was Romero's best round. And if that is a harbinger of what's to come, then he's got a shot.
Don't stand still. You have to put your pulse there. Move, move. Are you listening to me? Don't stand there. Open your mouth. Do you feel any punches? No? Did you feel any punches? Are you okay? Okay, so throw more punches. He can't steal that title from you. You have to be the better man. You can win this fight. Put everything you got behind it. Throw, throw, and throw. Get him.
There seemed to be a little bit more desperation in Tejedor's corner at this stage of the fight than you would expect. Maybe they are sensing something about what that last round potentially could mean to their fighter.
Well, I tell you, in Amilcar Bruiser, you got to remember he was in with with Carlos Monzon and all those tough fights, and he's a very, very good motivator. He just doesn't want to let his guy start the fight, the Danny Romero's fight. He wants him moving, which he was very effective with in the earlier rounds. And Danny Romero has become a better fighter since he started to use that left jab.
Hard right hand by Romero. Third time in the fight that a fighter has gone to the canvas, and it has been correctly ruled a slip, not a knockdown, by Steele. Hard left hand by Tejedor. Danny Romero stops punching for a moment as Tejedor comes back with the uppercut. Now Danny Romero is getting himself back together and goes back to working with the jab.
He's a different fighter when he jabs, Romero, but he's in with a guy with a very, very quick left jab.
How do you out jab a jabber?
If you can do that, you surely are going to win a fight.
Good left-hand counter punch there by Danny Romero, and another good left. Momentum of the fight definitely beginning to shift. Tejedor's connect percentage went down dramatically in round 6, and here in 7 again, it is Romero who's the sharper puncher. Good sequence there by Romero. Now another hard right-hand lead by Tejedor. And back comes Romero with 2 left-hand counter shots. So Danny Romero suddenly much sharper in rounds 6 and 7, and Tejedor's effectiveness wanes in response.
The thing that amazes me that Tejedor can stay with him on the inside.
But for how long?
Well, he has been able to do it up to this point. There's a good left hook by Tejedor again.
Hard left-hand shot. Romero using the formula of jab and body punches. Just misses a right hand. Hard left by Tejedor. And Romero bringing it back. That right hand was a glancing blow. It could have done a lot of damage if it had landed flush.
And you can see, I've always said that a fighter improves 100% once he wins a world championship. This is probably the best fight that Tejedor has ever fought. I mean, he's fighting Romero's fight right now and holding his own.
Punch it out, punch it out. Don't hold it.
Romero stepping around with the left hook to the body. Much sharper now, Danny Romero. And you see the result as he begins to put combinations together. Earlier in the fight, Romero was walking in and throwing one shot at a time. Now he's jabbing his way in and throwing combinations.
That made all the difference in the world, Jim. Once he started to use that left hand, once you can hit a guy with a jab, you can feint the jab and then hit him with your combinations.
Reach around him. Reach around him. Reach around him, Danny. You keep boxing him like that. Okay, the guy's confused, huh? Okay. Vamos con el aire, Danny. Vamos con el aire. Okay? Okay. Keep reaching around him. Come on, dig you in. Dig you in. Otro lado y pegas vos.
Deciding you hit.
¿Estás cansado?
Are you tired?
No, ¿qué mierda va a estar cansado?
No, how can you be tired if you were very well trained? Come on.
Escúcheme, jefe.
Listen to me.
Téngase
With
confianza.
confidence.
Póngale
Throw
por
with
buscar.
confidence.
Permiso, que voy a salir.
Listen to me.
Con confianza.
With confidence.
Tire golpe.
Throw punches.
Pase para un costado, pase para otro.
Then move from side to side.
Yo lo voy a levantar.
I'll pick you up.
Whatever happens in this fight, this is a very, very hard fight for a young fighter to go through. And
Absolutely.
it can affect him, win or lose.
Well, he may learn a lesson from this fight. He thought he was going to walk right into Tejedor and get him right out of there, and he found out differently, and now he's back on his game plan.
Harold Letterman, your score through 7.
Larry, after 7 rounds, I got it 4 rounds to 3, 67-66, Danny Romero. I think he took the lead in round 6 and 7. I just think he jumped on top based on his clean punching, his hard clean punching, his effective aggressiveness, and the fact that Tejedor stopped moving and is fighting Romero's fight.
I have it 4-3 for Tejedor.
Now I have it 5-2 for Tejedor.
And of course, the ultimate decision would rest with judges selected by the governing body whose title Tejedor holds.
But again, you know, it's very difficult when both fighters, neither guy's doing too much, but Tejedor keeps pumping that left jab out, And when a round is close, that makes all the difference in the world.
But there's another Romero combination. Once again, the big difference in the last couple of rounds, his ability to put punches together in numbers.
Well, again, Jim, now this round, Danny has not been using that left jab that worked so well for him in the 2 previous rounds. And while they're on the outside, Tejedor is snapping the jab out every once in a while and gives him an edge in that part of the round.
Romero probably have to battle himself to be patient. Stick with the jab, the formula that served him so well as he began to come back in the middle portions of the fight. Tejedor a little bit more energetic now than he was in 6 and 7.
Again, we see Danny waiting, and Tejedor's scoring points with that left hand.
Right hand by Romero. Tejedor temporarily stopped against the ropes. Now he comes away clean.
I think Tejedor is slowing down some, Gil. He certainly isn't moving the way he did through the first quarter of the fight.
Oh, there's no question about that. In the beginning of the fight, he was just about unhittable the way he was moving from side to side. Now he's really stopped that side-to-side movement. He's just following in behind that left hand. Very little movement to the right, and that's what was really puzzling Romero early in the fight.
Right hand to the body there by Romero. Right hand to the head by Romero. Crowd comes alive in a bigger way than at any other time in the fight as they root for Danny to pull it out.
The way Tejedor started to feint on the ropes, I thought he was hurt more than he was letting Romero know.
Oh, there's no question about that. Yes, he was bobbing and weaving from punches that Romero wasn't throwing.
Exactly.
Round 8 ends with a combination and a smile from Danny Romero. Meanwhile, thousands of miles and 9 time zones away, the Oder Tower in Frankfurt, Oder, Germany, hometown of Axel Schultz, the 26-year-old who will be battling George Foreman later on tonight for the heavyweight crown. You can see that the crowd assembled there to watch the big screen is not watching Romero and Tejedor. They're watching a German television preview of the upcoming Foreman-Schultz battle. Very nice. HBO Sports banner right in the middle of the town square in Frankfurt, Oder, Germany.
All about to share.
Yeah, that's it. That's all we're going to do.
Y lo agarras con el guante entrando. Okay.
Lo más importante es para ganar, ¿eh?
Seconds down. El protector.
You heard Romero say, I'm boxing the stuff out of him.
They forgot the mouthpiece, and
Time. Well, it's going.
they have it in, and it certainly bothered the fighter. They forgot to put the mouthpiece in when the bell rang.
And guys, in round 8, by punch stat numbers, Tejedor landed only 9 shots to 29 for Romero. So the connect percentage for Tejedor continues to shrink dramatically, although he opens here in round 9 with a couple of combinations that land. Tejedor seemingly going back to that right-hand lead that served him so well early, Gil.
Well, the only thing he isn't doing now, Jimmy, there's very little side-to-side movement, which was the one thing that was really bothering Romero early in the fight. Now he's trying to outfight Danny Romero. He's on the inside, and he's throwing those uppercuts.
From his actions and the way he's being, aggressive, it seems to me he may think he's behind.
Well, the way Amilcar Bruiser talks to him in the corner, he probably does. Again, he's fighting Romero's fight right now. He's fighting a power puncher's fight.
Romero ducking and waiting for an opportunity, lands a hard left hand. Misses with the right, but lands a right hand shot underneath.
That seemed to bother Tejedor, Jim.
Yeah, that backed him up, and now he's stationary against the ropes. See if Romero can pick out a chance for the left hook. No, he lands the right. And Tejedor has lost the lateral movement completely, Gil. He's just going to stand there and wait, and Danny can take advantage of this big time.
Well, he's on that cement block in Colombia now. The legs are not moving the way they did earlier in the fight.
Now, Chiquita Gonzalez caught him against the ropes in Mexico City. He knocked him out. Tejedor's legs are starting to go a little bit.
Now what Danny should do is really start pounding the body, because the only thing that's moving now is Tejedor's head. Go back underneath now. You can see the head moving, but the legs are not moving.
But for the moment, Romero is very head conscious. He lands a right and a left. Throws a haymaker left, forgetting to go to the body, which it would seem would serve him very well here.
Keep it in front, Daddy. Keep it clean. Keep it clean.
Tejedor with a good left hand.
And then Romero came back with a right uppercut. He's really getting Tejedor's attention now. There's a body shot.
Yep. And with that body shot, you could see momentarily Tejedor dropped his hands. There are two more good body shots and another hard right hand to the head. Things are starting to break Danny Romero's way as we come to the closing seconds of round number 9.
That was a great round for Romero. You don't see many 20-year-old fighters come back from what he was confronted with early in this fight.
There's no question about it. He could have been discouraged early.
Open your mouth. Listen to me. With confidence. You have to move a little better from side to side. He put him against the ropes. Listen to me.
¿Me está entendiendo? Bien, hey, bien.
Watch this young fighter work against a really good champion. He's taken the best the champion has to offer. He has the champion backed up on the ropes, taking his time, not getting wild, looking for the right shots to land.
10th round of a scheduled 12. Danny Romero has been to rounds 10 through 12 only twice. Tejedor 9 times in his career. Part of the vast difference in experience here, but it is Romero who has dominated the middle stages of the fight and carries momentum into the final quarter of the fight.
Go holding.
That was a cute little thing he tried there.
That was amazing, like catching a baseball.
Caught his fist in his glove, which can't open.
Tejedor's legs definitely now are not the same legs that he started this fight with. Now he has to fight Romero, which is a very difficult job. Especially with that 10-pound weight advantage.
Time. Go to courts.
Glove adjustment for Danny Romero as there's a loose piece of tape. If anything, probably a break for Tejedor, who would seem to be the more spent of the two fighters at this moment.
Romero trying to become the first fighter as young as 20 years old to win a title since Mike Tyson.
Time.
Body shots to start out for Romero, and then he breaks Tejedor with a left to the head. Tejedor coming back with a straight right.
There's Romero using that left jab again beautifully. And you can see how it set up the right hand right after it.
Come on, don't hold it. Great. Step back, step back.
Tejedor a little bit more active and accurate now than was the case in rounds 8 and 9. Hard right hand over the top for Romero. Hasn't been able to get Tejedor against the ropes in this round, as he did so effectively in rounds 8 and 9.
Tejedor is now starting to dance again. Maybe he's getting a second win.
There's a hard left hand shot by Romero, and Tejedor stands still for the moment against the ropes. Romero measuring and trying to get in a right hand. He misses it over the top.
Jim, it'd be so much better to throw that right hand
to the body.
Right at Tejedor's chest. He can't get out of the way of the punch.
There he throws a combination to the body and sets up a left hook to the head. Misses again with the right. Tejedor just pawing his punches, trying to keep Romero off for the moment. Finally, he moves to the left away from the ropes.
Whatever is keeping him on the ropes, it's a bad idea, because it gives the impression that he can't get away and that he's taking a beating. And that's a bad impression to give the judges.
Hard left hand. Tejedor seems to wobble one more time. Romero throwing and missing with the left, but lands the right. Strong last minute of the 10th round for Danny Romero. Two different fights. A punch stat numbers comparison upcoming here, which will show you the degree to which Tejedor, in the eyes of our punch stat observers, dominated the first 5 rounds, and then Danny Romero the second 5 rounds of the fight. And there are the numbers. Rounds 1 through 5, Tejedor more accurate and throwing a great deal more than Romero. Rounds 6 through 10, Tejedor still throwing more, but Romero by far the more accurate and the harder puncher.
Gil, this even has to make Romero more impressive, what he's doing up until this point, than we thought of him.
Oh, this is a great learning experience, besides maybe walking out with a championship.
Rounds 11 and 12 upcoming. Francisco Tejedor has never before gone to the 11th round in his 44-fight career. Romero has been here once.
Harold Letterman, 10 rounds. How do you score it now?
Larry, 7 rounds to 3, 97-93, Danny Romero. I think Tejedor absolutely has to score a knockout to win this fight right now. I think Danny Romero's cracking him with that right hand. Incidentally, about that corner thing, the round can't start unless the guy's got his mouthpiece. So Richard Steele called time until they found the mouthpiece.
I have it 6-4 for Romero.
And I have the fight dead even. First 5 for Tejedor, second 5 for Danny Romero. But again, Tejedor is not the same fighter that he was through those first 5 rounds.
And Romero is much better. Romero dictating in there now with superior physical strength, greater energy, much better punching accuracy. Good left jab by Romero.
This is not the over-anxious Danny Romero that started the fight. You can see him moving that head, thinking a little bit about defense.
Well, it's remarkable that a 20-year-old fighter can make these kinds of adjustments, Gil.
Good hard left-hand shots by Romero, snapping Tejedor's head back.
There's that jab again that we said he's a different fighter when he does set things up with that left jab.
Keep him up.
Right hand landed inside for Tejedor. He tries to follow it up, but not a lot of snap in his punches at this point. The more he extends, the better chances he gives Danny Romero to go to the body. Romero triples up with the jab, misses with the right hand. But he's the one who's got a concept in there now. Tejedor just reacting to Danny Romero and trying to tread water in effect.
And you can see Danny is full of pep. He's in great condition. You have to remember, he put on all that weight in a short space of time, but he's still dancing, still moving around.
And he did look sluggish at the outset of the fight, Gil. Could it be that he worked his way back into condition during the fight?
Well, there's no question about it. He's probably taken off 6 or 7 pounds of that excessive weight, probably all water that he started with.
So he's physically better now than he might have been in rounds 2 and 3.
Looks that way to me. Now you can see Danny moving to the right. We haven't seen much of that. Big left hook by Romero.
And a hard right hand. Great combination by Danny Romero. And Richard Steele pulls him off to end the round. But an excited Romero knows that he has all the momentum now as we get ready for one more round.
I want you to box this round. Now I want you to box and then just keep keep wearing him down, okay? Don't go out there crazy. He's going to come out, huh? Okay. He's going to come out good.
No, no.
Are you hurt? Are you hurt? You okay? This is the final round.
The last round.
This is it.
This is the final and last round. Let's keep it clean, okay?
Okay. Okay, Danny? Okay. Just what you're doing, huh? Okay. Solo cae. Okay. Okay, don't just be going up there and trying not to.
And here you see Romero putting the finishing touch on that round and perhaps on the champion's chance of retaining his title. Up to this moment, we thought Romero was a great young fighter coming in here. Right now, we know he's a great young fighter.
He knows how to win, Larry. There's no question about that.
Gillies put so much pressure on Tejedor these past 6 rounds. If you're the trainer, do you want Danny thinking of a knockout in there now, or should he be satisfied just to go ahead and try to punch his way to a decision?
No, I would certainly tell him to box, as he was told in the corner. The big punches come by themselves, especially when you have a guy that's a little tired. You don't have to look to go wild and try to knock him out. The knockout can come, and you can see those hard punches to the body by Romero. That sets up the one on the chin.
There's a right hand wallop, and it'll be interesting to see if Tejedor can last it out. His legs totally wobbly now. Romero looking for one more right hand.
But you see, Romero setting things up with the jab now.
And the left hand to the body, and a lot of other good ideas. Romero may be on his way to his first world championship at age 20.
You have to give Tejedor credit for having a lot of courage, a lot of guts in there. He's still punching, trying, but he's just being overpowered now.
Danny Romero seemingly so out of sync the first 3 rounds of the bout, a consistently rising tide from that point forward. He has simply overwhelmed Tejedor in the last 6 rounds with strength, quickness, accuracy.
There's that jab. He's snapping that jab out again. I'm telling you, this is going to make Danny Romero an even better fighter than he had been previously.
Takes a left hand from Tejedor. No snap in the Colombian's punches at this point. Thoroughly professional effort by Tejedor, who looks as though he's going to have to taste defeat for the 3rd time outside his native Colombia. Low blow by Romero. It was on the blind side of steel, and he got away with it. Gutty job going the distance. Tejedor
didn't go the distance yet, Jim. He didn't go the distance yet.
Down he goes.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
He went the distance.
Just barely.
Danny Romero, it's for real.
I agree with you 100%, Larry. He was in with a good, solid professional fighter, a lot better than many fighters that I've seen. And once he got himself on track, he just took the guy apart.
Another brilliant performance by the 20-year-old up-and-coming star from Albuquerque, New Mexico. So barring an unexpected decision here, Romero will have a world title and will move his mark to 24-0.
Albuquerque, that world title is ours.
Stay in the ring for the interview.
Yeah, I'm happy. He was crappier than what I thought. He was faster and everything. Okay. They just saw the hype and everything. Got a little rough, man. Just how much? Gave him a boxing bet.
I have to assume these are the same things that Danny will say to Larry Merchant when Larry gets hold of him in the ring for a quick interview. Let's take another look, Gil, at the knockdown at the end of the fight.
Well, here he has him against the ropes. That's a bad spot for Tejedor to be in, and you can see Danny with that powerful right hand. He looks setting it up again, put the punches together.
This all happened just as I was prematurely giving credit to Tejedor for finishing the 12 rounds.
Well, you know what Yogi Berra said, it's never over till it's over.
Finally, it was over. The bell could not have saved Tejedor, incidentally, if he had remained on the canvas, so he had to get up to make it through the 12. Boy, that's some crisp punching there at the end by Danny Romero, who outlanded Tejedor 37 blows to 17 by punch stat numbers in round 12. Harold Letterman, how'd you score it?
Let's see, I got it 117, 110. Danny Romero, 9 rounds to 3. Commanding win for Danny Romero. Incidentally, one of the judges is Stuart Winston, one of the great judges in the world today.
All right, and Harold, as you saw, had Romero winning the last 7 rounds of the fight. We'll see how the 3 judges have it as we go to ring announcer Michael Buffer for the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, here at the MGM Grand, we go to the scorecards. Stuart Winston scores the bout 115 to 112. Hector Hernandez Vilches scores it 116 to 112. And Dalby Shirley has it 116 to 111 for the winner by unanimous decision. And new champion of the world, Danny
A disappointed Francisco Tejedor, tasting defeat here for the 3rd time in his career. 3rd consecutive time he's traveled outside of Colombia and wound up with a loss to show for it. Total punches in the bout, and you can see that Danny Romero, so far behind on punch stat numbers early, came back to dominate, landing 40% to only 28% for Tejedor. Tejedor's jab dominated the first few rounds of the bout, but by the end of the affair, Romero had come close to evening that stat, landing 118, and again, a much better connect percentage. Let's go up to Larry Merchant, who's standing by with the new champ.
Champion, how does that sound? The first flyweight champion in America in 64 years.
Well, I told everybody we're bringing it back to America, bringing it back to my great state of New Mexico, and now we're here to stay.
What did you do to change the course of the fight? Because he was giving you a boxing lesson through the first 4 or 5 rounds.
Yeah, you know, the guy was very crafty. We didn't take nothing away from him. He's a world champion, so we just outboxed him. We beat him at his own game.
What made you decide to go back to boxing? Did you feel you were being a little too wild, a little bit too eager early on?
I was too eager, too hyper, too nervous with all you great people fighting for my world title. It was just too overwhelming. I just had to take my time and outbox him.
What do you envision next?
Envision next is going on fighting greater fighters like Chiquita and Michael Carbajal. That's up to the great Bob Arum to work that. And with you guys, we could do it all.
All right, well, you can do it all. You did it all tonight. Jim?
All right, thank you very much, Larry Merchant and Gil. A look at a kid who has a tremendously bright future. Possible fights down the road against Michael Carbajal, against Humberto Chiquito Gonzalez. Is he ready for that kind of opposition?
Well, yeah, I think he certainly is ready for anybody right now in the flyweight class. He can really fight. He was tested tonight by a very good technician, and he passed the test.
Might he have learned a lesson about taking off weight and then putting on a great deal of weight before the fight begins?
Well, I thought he learned 2 lessons today. Number 1, you don't fool around with the weight that way. I believe as you come in at his natural weight, has to make 112 pounds. He has to make it on the day of the fight. You can put a couple of pounds back on with liquids. And number 2, he learned that everybody he fights, when he hits them, they're not going to go in one. He started out thinking he could walk right out there and throw bombs and get this guy out, and he was missing and he was off track, and he didn't get back on track until he started to be patient and move in behind that left jab. That changed the fight around.
Yeah, and with that kind of talent, if he continues to learn and learn well, you have the potential for greatness. Remember, Danny's only 20 years old as you watch him tonight. So we get 12 rounds of exciting action.